Mitch Faber. I am 36 years of age and I've been skating for 20 years. I have lived in 6 countries around the world, skateboarding and cooking my way around the globe. Cheers! Probably about 16. I was probably about 16, everyone else was doing it. I was holding back from it because I'm always sort of like, oh, it's the new thing, everyone's going to do it, I'm not going to do it kind of thing. So I'm very slow at moving to fads or things that everyone all of a sudden is doing. I'm always the last person to do that sort of thing. Everyone had them at schools. I was like, all right, give me a go, had a go, kind of liked it. And I was like, yeah, I really like this. Still held off because they were expensive, because at that time skateboarding wasn't in every shop. There was like the one shop that sold like 10 boards and they were like 200 bucks, you know, for a complete, like 210 for a complete, which is nuts. It got bigger and bigger. Everyone at school was having like, fuck, you know, this is something I definitely want to do. And when I went to that skate park and I saw the dude doing big airs, that's when I was like, oh my god, that's another level. Because the kids at school were doing ollies and whatever, 180s, but to see a dude just float a huge air out of a quarter at Gosford Skate Park, I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to stop playing football. I want to stop playing softball, baseball, cricket, golf. I want to be on my skateboard every day. On the central coast of New South Wales, which is, I'd probably say Gosford is probably where I did start the skating, because that was the only skate park in the area. You know, Central Coast where I was living, which is Wombrel, it was surfing. You know, you surfed, you rode a boog, you would sort of go to some of the schools, but really the first skate park was Gosford Skate Park, and that's very, you know, I have very good memories because that's where I started, that's where I learned most of my tricks, that's where I met all my friends through skating, was pretty much at that skate park. So that's where it all began. And then as my career as a chef progressed, I should say, with my skating, they both progressed like this, going up and up. I was getting more qualified as a chef. My skating was getting, you know, my levels were getting higher and higher. I was going to handrails every weekend. I wanted to go to the 12-stair handrail in Sydney. So, and bigger gaps, bigger stairs. Then eventually, I was like, all right, time to get out of Australia. And that's when I went to Canada first. And that was more, not really for the skateboarding, but I did some skating in Canada. It was when I went to London. That's when my skating was like, all right, now I'm in London skating the famous South Bank skate park, where I saw all the English pros skating there every day. And it was like cook, you know, I would start cooking at 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon. So before that, I was down at South Bank skating. And England, it's all about street, so you're skating street all the time. And then while living there, because you're so close to Europe, Barcelona is just a quick little flight. So then going to Barcelona, skating Barcelona, and all this time capturing video, taking photos, all that just makes you more excited, more, you want to progress more. That photo was good, but let's get a better photo, let's get it at Barcelona. And then I guess that sort of got into my mind, well, let's look at America. And that's when Camp Woodward came along, because I was like, wow, it's cold and it's shitty weather in London. What can I do for this time of the year? Let's go to America. And then that's how I got into Camp Woodward. So, yeah, so I started teaching in Camp Woodward. I mean, being in Camp Woodward was like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That was just, can't explain it. You fly in, you drive through cornfields, through all the Amish lands, come to this big skate park, and you like take a pick: cement, wood, metal, outdoor, indoor, foam pits, mega ramps, vert ramps, mini ramps, like street spots. There was also street spots. So the pathways that connected all the different skate parks also had a ledge or a little 3-stair or a hubba. So it was like, it was freaking nuts, man. It was such an amazing experience, and the progression of my skateboarding being in that camp was nuts. Because a normal day you would see a kid grinding a 12-stair handrail. That's just a normal day, and you'd turn to the right and you'd see a guy trying to do, you know, a front blunt double flip out, or a switch crook nollie heel flip out, and then to the left you see a guy doing a McTwist on a vert ramp. And so it was just like every day it was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, alright, well then I'm going to do something, you know, because that's normal. I'm seeing all this is all normal, then let's just go. I put it down to kind of two skaters, the two types of variations of my skating, and that is one which is like ledge skating, technical flip in, flip out sort of tricks on ledges, and then I've always liked to go big. So I would say the tech guy would be represented by Chris Cole or Mark Johnson. Mark Johnson more for style, Chris Cole for just basically doing tricks that have never been done before. I mean, Mark Johnson as well, they both are amazing. So those two for the tech ledge tricks, and then Jamie Thomas for doing big. Heath Kirchart for doing the big kickflips down huge gaps, grinding big handrails. So those four kind of what I was like, yeah, that's what I want to skate. That's what I want to do, that ledge stuff, but I also want to throw myself down a big handrail. So that's basically the way I skate, ledges and big gaps and handrails and stuff. Chefing, which I absolutely love, which is my passion, and then I've got skateboarding, and both those two have always worked together because my work, you know, being a chef, you generally, a lot of the places I've worked at is nighttime work. So I'm not starting till 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So what do? I get up early, get to the skate park when everyone else is at school or at work. I just have the park to myself, I train, I just learn my tricks, get them on lock, and then I go and work. And I balance both, not one is affecting the other. So it's like the perfect relationship. I think that's why I'm able to progress so fast. You know, when I first started skating, a lot of my friends, they were so far advanced in front of me, but I left school, started the apprenticeship, and then all of a sudden I see them at the skate park and I'm already like 10 tricks ahead of them because of the way the relationship with their job and the skateboarding worked. So it's just perfect. The chefing has taken me around the world because being a chef, it's like this. Work anywhere around the world. You land into a country, you go into the first restaurant, do you guys need any chefs? Yeah, we do. Go into the next place, and do you need any chefs? Yeah, we do. You got experience? Yep, you got a job. It's like that. So it has taken me to all these countries around the world, and what's right in my arm right here? My skateboard. So being a chef and having that knowledge of food science with being a skateboarder is a huge thing. So I know how to get the most nutrients out of vegetables, combinations to stop inflammation, all that sort of stuff. Eat healthy, eat cheaply, but get the most out of food.
How important is it for other athletes to try and follow suit and look after their body?
It's huge, and if any of the athletes these days have any sense, they're already on it. They're already being vegan. They're already doing their, activating their nuts. They're doing their green smoothies. They're doing their foam rolling. They're doing all the things that everyone knows about these days, just because the information is more readily available. It is huge. You have big names completely switching to vegan because they're getting more energy out of plant-based diets as opposed to more traditional, get your carbs, get your meats sort of thing.
Talk about you never getting into heavy drinking, like a lot of people in the skating community fall off with that.
Mm-hmm. The lifestyle of a chef, like I said, everyone knows it's one of the most high pressure jobs, stressful, long hours, you don't get paid that much, you work all the weekends, you lean towards cigarettes, alcohol and drugs to maintain that lifestyle at the level that you can work those 60-hour weeks and still function. I never leaned towards that because I needed all that energy for skateboarding. I needed to be more healthier, and whenever I did the alcohol, I would feel like crap the next day. I would feel my joints more painful. So I never leaned towards any of that stuff. And again, skateboarding was that outlet. So when a chef didn't have that outlet, that's where the cigarettes, the drugs, and the alcohol would come in. Well, their day off, they would party the last day that they'd worked, so that night they finished work, go to the pub, drink, alcohol, drugs, whatever, smoke cigarettes, and then they would sleep all day. Me, I wouldn't go out with them. I would go home, stretch, go to bed, get up early, skate all day on my day off, shoot photos, make videos, and then I would come back to the work the next day with them and they would tell me what they did, slept all day, felt like shit, I would tell them what I did. Well, I shot a photo here, I did this, picked up a new sponsor, made a video. I'm all like ready for Monday, and they're like, you know? So it's like, why would I ever want to feel like that? Some of the big injuries I've had in my career of skateboarding has definitely been broken bones. I broke my wrist really bad trying to back 5-0 this straight out hubba at Coogee, and it should have just been a pretty straightforward kind of a trick, but I over-ollied, landed in the garden bed, rolled over the ledge, and I just felt so strange and twisted that I shattered my scaphoid bone, which is a small bean-shaped kind of bone in your wrist. I shattered that into 5 pieces, and I dislocated my wrist at the same time. The doctor did not notice I had a dislocated wrist, did not totally underestimated that I needed an operation, and just put a cast straight on my wrist and said, yep, you can go home now. Got home, all the painkillers he gave me were not doing anything. I was in the most pain I've ever felt in my life. Back to the hospital, oh yeah, we better cut that off because your wrist is dislocated and we need to operate on you as soon as possible. The surgeon's gone home, so you're gonna have to stay over here overnight. We'll start giving you morphine. So I had my arm stretched out in a stretcher while I was lying down, pressing a button seemed like every 10 minutes. I need more morphine, I need more morphine. Let it come, give me a needle in my belly. And then I just felt this crazy, warm, like hot water liquid all going all over me. And I was like, That was great. So I just did that all night until they couldn't give me any morphine because they could kill me. Then the next morning they put me in. I was first in to get operated on, and they opened me up and realized the bone was just in pieces. They normally put this thing called a Herbert screw. It's like a real standard skateboard injury. Yep, they break a scaphoid. Yep, that's very common. All right, let's put the Herbert screw in. And this time the doctor's like, they couldn't put it in because the screw's too big, so they had to put pins. The other one would be when I was in Camp Woodward and I tried to tray flip. Tried to tray flip a 5 flat 6, and I just completely all the ligaments in my ankle. Then there was another time I tried to ollie a set of 17 and I broke my heel. I've tried to kickflip a set of, I think it was like a 7 or 8. I landed primo and broke my ankle. Don't have any footage of that though. Broke my wrist a second time trying to ollie an auto bin out of Gosford Skate Park. There's no footage of that. Just whipped out, wrist back, crack. So I broke my wrist twice. Oh, my knee. Oh, I forgot about that one. Holland at Amsterdam in Holland, I tried to ollie this big gap. One foot stayed on the board, other foot came out. Blew my ACL. Just missed out on operation. Doctor was gonna operate. He's like, I think you might just be okay. Thank God I didn't need operation. The time that I fell on my sternum and pretty much, I never went to the hospital, but it was the worst. I just fell on a cement corner down underneath the harbour bridge, impaled myself, and just could not move for like a week. I was just, I may have fractured or chipped the bone or something. I never got it looked at. I just was in pain for quite a while, a good week.
You alright? Oh, fuck! Look at that, man! Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, you alright, man? Oh! It's a nasty noise, I'll tell you that much. Oh, fuck! That fucking hurt. Oh, man, that made a sickening noise. Oh, that's fucked. I don't know what that is, eh? Oh, what is that there? What is that? What is? I don't even know what it is.
What is it?
It is. I don't know. It's your sternum, man.
Oh,
Side of
it's
your
my
sternum. You just got fucking lifted. We gotta watch that one again.
Broke my collarbone. There's more, but I can't think of them all right now.